Good afternoon, everyone. Today we're making crackers, but not any kind of crackers, Lavash Crackers, which is like a super crispy thin flatbread that you put herbs or seeds on top of, and they're really delicious. So we're gonna get started on those. The first thing I have in my bowl of my mixer is 1 teaspoon of honey. I'm going to add 1/3 of a cup of warm water to that, and I'm just going to stir until my honey kind of gets dissolved in there. Lovely. And then I have 3/4 of a cup of flour, 1/4 of a teaspoon of instant yeast, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And that's all the ingredients that are going to be in the dough. I'm going to mix that on my mixer with the dough hook for probably about 10 minutes until it's a nice firm dough ball that's not sticking to the sides. And then we're going to let it rest and then keep going from there. So I'm going to get that mixing and we'll be right back. Okay, our lavash dough has been kneaded. This does seem like a really small amount of dough, but we don't need that much crackers in our house right now, so we're just making a small batch. So this is our dough. It's not sticky, but it's still very stretchy and supple. Perfect. So we're gonna pop this into a greased bowl with a lid. Gonna let it sit at least an hour, maybe hour and a half. I just want it to be super relaxed so that we can roll it really thin. So we'll let that relax at room temperature and I'll see you in a little bit. All right, our dough has rested. It's still very small, that's fine. It was more just to relax it because we're gonna stretch it out, make it super thin. So I have a baking tray here and I'm using the bottom of it. So I have sprayed it with baking oil, like Pam. And then I'm gonna take the dough and I'm gonna roll it out as much as I can. And then I'm gonna try to stretch it onto here so it's super thin. So it's gonna take me a few minutes to do that, but I'm just gonna start rolling and stretching and see where we go. Okay, it's looking pretty good. So I'm gonna move this onto my tray and then I'm gonna use the tray to kind of pull it and stretch it, and we want it as even as possible. So this is why we're using the bottom, because it makes it easier because there's no edge on it. So I'm just going to keep going with this and get it as big as we can. Okay, well, I almost got it to cover the whole bottom of the tray. So if you see, I've just used the edges to kind of pull the dough lightly towards, stretching it out so it's super thin. We want it to be really thin so we can make it really crispy. So I have my oven preheating to 400 degrees, and then I'm just gonna drizzle a little bit of this nice olive oil on top. Ooh. I'll spread it out with my pastry brush, and then the best part about this is that you can put any kind of seasoning on. So you can put dried herbs, dried garlic, you could put cinnamon and sugar. You could do some with like sesame seeds, some with poppy seeds, some with something else. I'm going to use this spice blend. It's called High Steaks. It's for steaks normally, but it tastes really good. It's from the Salt Cellar. And I'm gonna use that on my crackers. But again, you can use any flavoring you want, or just leave it with olive oil, a little bit of coarse salt. That will be really good too. Or just salt and pepper. Perfect. Okay, so this looks nice and coated. I'm gonna sprinkle on my spice mixture. And then these are gonna bake really fast because they're super thin and our oven's really hot. So just keep an eye. It could be 4 minutes, it could be 10 minutes, just depends on your oven. So I'm gonna pop mine in there and see once they're all golden, that'll be perfect. So our lavash crackers baked for 9.5 minutes. You can tell some parts are a little bit more toasty than others. That's just because it wasn't super evenly level on the tray, but that's okay. It still tastes really good. once you take it out of the oven, let it cool at least 10 minutes before you dig in, and then you can just break them off into chunks, dip it in your dips, eat it with a cheese. It looks really beautiful on a cheese and cracker like charcuterie board. You can just put them together in a glass and then have your other crackers. Lots of options. I just love cheese boards, so any reason, and dips. Amazing. Well, thanks for joining me today. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm gonna go eat a whole bunch of chips, crackers, and dip.